Assumptions kill. Not malice, not greed. Assumptions. The belief that because something is handmade, it's safe. Because it's artisan, it's tested. Because it's sold at a farmer's market, it's regulated. Because grandma's recipe worked for decades, it's fine. But assumptions skip the one step that actually matters: testing. Verification.proof. I'm Mugsy. Coffee mug. Item number 9. You've heard 2 of my confessions. James Parker, software developer. Brain damage from lead poisoning. Elena Rodriguez, artist. Lost her ability to paint. Both from drinking coffee from me daily. Both from lead in my glaze. But what I didn't tell you is that my potter never tested me. Never sent a sample to a lab. Never verified the glaze was food safe. Just assumed. Traditional methods. Organic materials. Handmade with love. Must be safe, right? This is Season 3, Episode 4. Patterns we ignore. Check if you're subscribed, because this one is about the tests that were never done. The assumptions that replaced science. The certifications that didn't exist. Write in the comments, what have you assumed was safe without checking? Because my potter assumed, and 47 people were poisoned. August 2016. I was created by a potter named Claire Morrison, age 34. Small studio in Asheville, North Carolina. She'd been making pottery for 8 years. Self-taught initially, then community college ceramics classes, then apprenticeship with a local master potter. By 2016, she had her own studio. Small operation. Just her. Making mugs, bowls, plates, vases. Selling at farmers markets, craft fairs, online through Etsy. She was talented. Her pieces were beautiful. Unique glazes. Interesting textures. People loved them. She made a decent living. Not rich, but sustainable. She was proud of her work. Genuinely cared about quality, about aesthetics, about the craft. Her glazes were special. That's what set her apart. Most potters bought commercial glazes. Pre-mixed. Tested. Food safe certified. Predictable results. But Claire wanted something unique. Something personal. So she mixed her own glazes. Using her grandmother's recipes. Her grandmother, Dorothy Morrison, had been a potter in the 1960s and 70s. Small studio in rural Vermont. Dorothy had developed her own glaze formulas. Wrote them down in a notebook. Passed the notebook to Claire when Claire started pottery. Claire treasured that notebook. Grandma's legacy. Handwritten recipes. Measurements. Notes. Some glazes worked beautifully. Rich colors. Smooth finishes. Claire used them for all her work. One recipe in particular. Dorothy called it autumn copper. Beautiful reddish-brown glaze. Warm. Earthy. Perfect for coffee mugs. The recipe called for specific materials. Copper carbonate for color. Silica for glass formation. Feldspar for melting. And red iron oxide for depth. The proportions were written clearly. Dorothy had noted, fires beautifully at cone 6. Rich color, durable finish. Claire trusted the recipe completely. Grandma had used it for decades. Sold hundreds of pieces with that glaze. Never had complaints. Never had problems. So Claire used it too. Starting in 2014. Every mug she made for the next 3 years used autumn copper glaze. Including me. August 2016. But here's what Claire didn't know. Grandma Dorothy's recipe was from 1967. Developed during a different era of pottery. Different materials. Different safety standards. Or rather, lack of standards. In the 1960s, Ceramic artists often use materials without fully understanding their chemistry. Lead oxide was common in glazes. It created beautiful, smooth, glossy surfaces. Bright colors, easy application. Potters used it liberally. Some knew it was toxic. Some didn't care. Regulations were minimal. Testing was rare. Dorothy's autumn copper recipe didn't explicitly list lead oxide, but it contained something else. Red iron oxide, commercial grade. Dorothy had sourced this from a supplier in the 1960s. That supplier's red iron oxide wasn't pure. It was contaminated with lead, approximately 15% lead oxide content. Common contamination in that era. The supplier didn't disclose it. Dorothy didn't know. She just knew the glaze worked. When Claire inherited the recipe in 2014, she sourced her materials from modern suppliers, reputable pottery supply companies. She ordered red iron oxide from a company called Mountain Ceramic Supply. Their product was pure. No lead contamination. Modern manufacturing. So initially, when Claire started using autumn copper glaze in 2014, it was relatively safe. Low lead content. But then, June 2016, Mountain Ceramic Supply had a stock shortage. Red iron oxide backorded. Claire needed to fulfill orders. She found a different supplier online. Smaller company. Cheaper prices. Artisan ceramic materials based in California. They sold traditional red iron oxide, vintage formula. Claire thought it was just a marketing term. Vintage. Traditional artisan. It sounded good, matched her brand. She ordered 5 pounds, used it for her glazes starting July 2016, including the batch that became me. August 2016. What Claire didn't know, Artisan ceramic materials sourced their traditional red iron oxide from overseas suppliers who used old stock materials. Literally materials manufactured in the 1970s and 80s. Still sitting in warehouses. Sold cheap. These materials contained the same lead contamination Dorothy's supply had in the 1960s. Approximately 15% lead oxide. But Artisan ceramic materials didn't test their products, didn't disclose the contamination, assumed traditional materials were what customers wanted. Claire used it, mixed the autumn copper glaze, applied it to me, fired me in the kiln. August 2016. I emerged with a beautiful reddish-brown finish. Smooth. Glossy. Exactly like Grandma's Mugs. Perfect. Claire never tested me. Never sent a sample to a lab for a food safety analysis. Testing cost money, around $150 per sample. She was a small operation, tight margins, and she didn't think it was necessary. She assumed Grandma's recipe was safe. Grandma had used it for decades. No problems. Traditional materials. Natural ingredients. Handmade. How could it not be safe? She listed me on Etsy, September 2016. Description: handmade coffee mug. Artisan glaze using traditional family recipe passed down through generations. Food safe, microwave safe, dishwasher safe. Each piece unique. Made with love in Asheville, NC. Price $38. I sold within a week, but I wasn't food safe. The lead content in my glaze was catastrophic. Lab testing would have revealed approximately 15,000 parts per million of lead. Federal regulations for children's products, 100 ppm maximum. Regulations for adult dishware, technically none. But FDA recommends below 90 ppm for leachable lead. My glaze had 15,000 ppm total lead. And when exposed to acidic liquids, like coffee, the lead leached. Approximately 800 micrograms per cup. Dangerous level, anything above 5 micrograms per day. I was releasing 160 times that amount per cup. Daily use meant catastrophic exposure. My first owner was a woman in Portland, Oregon. She used me daily for 3 months. Developed symptoms, fatigue, headaches. She attributed it to stress. Donated me to Goodwill. December 2016. I was purchased by James Parker. You know his story. Software developer. Used me for 13 months. Lead poisoning. Brain damage. Disability. He donated me back to Goodwill after his diagnosis. March 2018. I was purchased by Elena Rodriguez, artist. Used me for 13 months. Lead poisoning. Lost her ability to paint. She kept me until August 2019, then sold me at a yard sale. I was purchased by someone else, then someone else. Each only used me for months. Each developed symptoms. Most never connected it to the mug. Blamed stress.age. Other factors. Some got tested. Found lead poisoning, but couldn't identify the source. Assumed old pipes, paint. Environmental exposure. Never tested the handmade mug. Meanwhile, Claire continued making mugs with the same glaze. September 2016 through August 2019. 3 years. She made approximately 200 mugs using autumn copper glaze. Sold them all, Etsy, farmers markets, craft fairs, local shops, each one contaminated, each one leaching lead. She had no idea, never tested, never got complaints, never suspected anything wrong. Her business was growing, 5-star reviews on Etsy, beautiful craftsmanship, loved the unique glaze, perfect gift. Customers were happy with the aesthetics, not knowing they were being poisoned. August 2019. The pattern finally surfaced. A doctor in Nashville, Dr. Rebecca Torres, noticed something she'd seen for patients in the past year with unexplained lead poisoning, adults. No obvious source, no occupational exposure, no old homes with lead paint. She started asking detailed questions. Environmental health investigation. What do you eat? What do you drink? What do you use? One patient mentioned a handmade coffee mug, bought at the Asheville Farmers Market. Beautiful reddish-brown glazed. Doctor Torres asked if she could test it. The patient agreed. Brought the mug in. Doctor Torres sent it to a lab. Results came back. 15,000 ppm lead. Catastrophic. She contacted the health department. August 15, 2019. North Carolina Division of Public Health investigated. They contacted the patient. Where did you buy this? Asheville Farmers Market. From which vendor? The patient remembered. Morrison Pottery. Claire Morrison. Health department sent an inspector to Claire's studio. August 20th, 2019. The inspector arrived. Explained the situation. A mug sold by Claire had tested positive for extremely high lead levels. Were there others? Claire was shocked, horrified. How? She used traditional methods. Grandma's recipes. Natural materials. The inspector asked to see her materials. Her formulas. Claire showed them. The inspector saw the red iron oxide. Traditional vintage formula. Asked where she sourced it. Claire provided the supplier information. Artisan ceramic materials. The inspector requested samples of the glaze. Other raw materials. Claire provided them. Sent to the state lab. Results came back August 27th. The red iron oxide, 15% lead oxide contamination. The finished glaze, 15,000 ppm lead. Every mug Claire had made with that glaze was contaminated. The inspector asked how many mugs. Claire checked her records, sales spreadsheets, Etsy orders, farmers market logs. Approximately 200 mugs. Sold September 2016 through August 2019. The inspector said we need to issue a recall. Contact every customer. Retrieve the mugs. Test anyone who's used them. Claire agreed, devastated. She'd poisoned people, unintentionally. But still, September 2019. Public health notice issued. Recall, Morrison pottery coffee mugs, lead contamination. Listed on the North Carolina Health Department website. Emailed to known customers from Etsy records. Posted at the Asheville Farmers Market. Claire personally contacted every customer she had contact information for, approximately 120 of the 200 buyers. Explained the situation, offered to pay for lead testing, refunded purchases, begged them to get tested. Please. I'm so sorry. 47 people responded. Got tested. 47 had elevated lead levels, ranging from 15 micrograms per deciliter to 89 micrograms per deciliter, all above the safe level of 5. Symptoms varied: headaches, fatigue, cognitive issues, neuropathy. 2 people, including Elena Rodriguez, had severe poisoning with permanent effects. Elena's brain damage, loss of fine motor control, inability to paint. Another person, a man named Thomas Wright, age 52, developed chronic kidney disease. Irreversible, both directly traceable to Claire's mugs. The other 45 had various levels of poisoning. Most recovered after cessation of exposure. Some had lingering symptoms, chronic fatigue, memory issues, all preventable, all from mugs that were never tested. But here's the thing. 80 of the 200 mugs were never returned, never tested. Either the customers didn't see the recall, or they saw it but didn't respond, or they'd already discarded the mugs, or sold them, like Elena did at a yard sale, or donated them, like James Parker did. Those 80 mugs are still out there, somewhere, being used by people who have no idea, poisoning them slowly, undiagnosed, unconnected, unreported. The actual number of victims is likely much higher than 47. But we'll never know, because they were never tested. Claire's business collapsed. September 2019. Recall announcement. News coverage. Local potter's mugs contained toxic lead. Her reputation destroyed. Etsy shop shut down. Farmers market banned her. She faced lawsuits. Elena sued. Thomas sued. Others threatened. Claire settled. Paid out her savings. Sold her studio. Sold her equipment. Paid medical bills. Legal fees. She was financially ruined. She didn't make pottery anymore. Cold in single quotes T. The guilt was too much. She worked retail now, barely making ends meet. Living with the knowledge that she'd harmed 47 people. At least. Probably more. They sent me here. Item number 9. Not just for James Parker in 2018. Not just for Elena Rodriguez in 2019. For being part of the 200. For being in the 80 that were never returned. For being evidence of what happens when assumptions replace testing. When traditional means unverified. When artisan means unregulated. When handmade with love means never sent to a lab. Claire wasn't malicious. She genuinely cared about her customers. She just assumed Grandma's recipe was safe because Grandma used it. Assumed traditional materials were pure because they were traditional. Assumed artisan meant quality controlled because it was handmade. Assumed food safe because it looked safe. Each assumption understandable. Each assumption deadly. Here's what exhausts me. The depleted part of me. Testing existed. Labs were available. $150 per sample. One test would have revealed the problem. Before September 2016. Before I was made. Before 200 mugs were sold. Before 47 people were poisoned. Before 2 people suffered permanent brain and kidney damage. Before 80 mugs disappeared into the world, still poisoning people. One test, $150. Claire didn't think it was necessary. Assumed it wasn't needed. Assumptions. That's what killed Eleanor's career. Damaged Thomas's kidneys. Poisoned 47. Probably more. That was my third confession. The test that was never done. The assumption that replaced science. The certification that didn't exist. Food safe written on an Etsy listing without any verification. Traditional recipe used without understanding what traditional meant. Artisan materials purchased without questioning what artisan implied. September 2016 to August 2019. 3 years, 200 mugs, 47 confirmed victims, 80 still out there. All because one person assumed instead of tested. All because $150 seemed unnecessary. All because Handmade felt safe. If the story made you question your assumptions, hit the like button. Write in the comments, what artisan products do you use? Have they been tested? And subscribe to Spoony and Friends. Season 3. Next time, Scorchy tells us about the third winter. The finale. See you in the last confession.